Hello and welcome to all of our gold delegates from around the world. I'm Fiona Lang Sharp, IBCLC and Director of Communications and MC at Gold Learning here. Welcome to everyone listening in today. This is another very exciting time for me. I tell you, all these wonderful speakers we've got coming up at Gold Perinatal, and I tell you, my enthusiasm for this wonderful person with me today, Denise Love. I'm so excited to have you here. I don't think I've even expressed. I feel like you have such a wealth of information and knowledge to share with us. But this topic, I think we talked a little bit offline the other day about how important this topic is personally to me, and I'm really looking forward to you sharing more about it. But first of all, I will remind everybody, this, of course, is going to be part of our Gold Perinatal Conference coming up here pretty quickly. We kick off our conference on October 1st with Sarah Buckley. Now, that's going to be a free and open access. It's easy to find online at goldperinatal.com. Of course, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and find out all the information there. We're very available, of course, if you'd like to register for any of the events. Denise is going to be part of a very important add-on package as well. She's going to be is part of the package is called Labor Support Skills, and these are going to be recordings that are going to be available for you right away on October 1st. So very convenient. You can listen to them any time of the day, and it doesn't matter what time zone you're in. So with that, I will say we've got some different time zones going on today, don't we, Denise? And so we're going to introduce you to Denise once again. Denise, why don't you come on here and say hello to all the folks listening in today and tell them a little bit about yourself and where you are in the world.
Oh, hi, Fiona. Thank you so much for having me. This is a very exciting time. And
Yeah.
I'm in Sydney, Australia at the moment. And I'm also delighted to hear that Sarah Buckley will be joining you. She's an extraordinary human being who I've been lucky enough to walk beside for quite a long time. So, yeah, caring for family when a baby dies is quite an interesting conversation to have. So, shall I tell you a little bit about my background?
Yeah, why don't we dive right into that and learn a little bit about your background and then how it all came about that you're presenting on this here.
Okay, so I am a registered nurse and I have a master's in nursing, but I guess for me, importantly, is I'm lucky enough to have a husband of a long time relationship, but I've got two beautiful children.
Mm,
Giving birth for me was really a passionate time and it opened the doors to many, many new things in my life.
wow.
So around that, my mother died as a young child, so I became a little bit interested in death back then. And then I had eight
Ooh,
miscarriages myself,
wow.
um, which kind of really got me thinking. I was nursing at the time. I thought I had all the
Right.
skills and desires that I wanted to have as a nurse around this subject. But it became really apparent to me when I became the person on the other side handing over a tiny little embryo in
Oh,
a plastic container that
right. Yeah.
nurses didn't always feel comfortable in working with people who face death.
Right.
So since then, look, I've traveled around the world, I've nursed around the world, but I'm really very passionate about women's health in general.
Hmm.
Worked in
Hmm.
family planning for 1,000 years, but I guess my mission in life now as an older woman and still in my medical capacity is to make normal things normal for women, things that function normally in our minds, bodies, and souls,
Mm,
to really, really support my peers as nurses, doctors, midwives, health professionals in general, to have those conversations with comfort. I just don't think as health professionals we have that. So I currently work in developing countries. I live in small villages without electricity and water. I teach leadership skills in Nepal and China and Bangladesh. Um, oh, look, I've got all sorts of projects that I work on with women about no more periods and no more child brides. I'm just passionate about life and sharing the goodwill and good luck of being born in a country that's free and
right.
and learning from everybody I work with.
Oh, that's so fantastic. I hear your voice. It's so passionate and it brings out so much joy in me. It's no surprise. that you're in this field, because I think that you feed off of a lot of that really positive energy. And when you see negative energy, you're just passionate to see what has become of that energy, why it is there, and why are people, not changing into learning about new things. And I see that I was looking at your bio as well, and I know one of the things it says is Denise identified the vital need for birthing women to find their voice. But it seems like it goes so much further than that now, Denise, that you're just so keen to, for every woman to have a voice even, and to
Absolutely.
be able to, find it first and then to be able to really project it loudly and clearly, right?
Absolutely. And then to have professionals, health professionals, nurses, everybody in the world actually hear us. That's where
Mm,
I spent a lot of time helping women find their voice. And then a
right.
lot of my years helping women to project that voice and be brave enough to speak it. But
Hmm.
still, every day when I work as a birth doula still, and I work as a death doula, and
Right.
I just experience every minute of every day that because of our own fears as medical professionals, we can't
Mhm.
hear those voices. And my passion
Mhm.
is now to support my colleagues and peers to move past their own fears around all of this, past the
Mhm.
fears of prejudice and religion and protocols and practices,
Yeah.
and at least acknowledge people, even if we can't do what they need or want within protocols or practices, to look them deep in their eyes and say, I hear you, but I'm sorry I
Hmm.
can't support you in that today.
Yeah, that is so important as well, because otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere. But I think there's a hunger for this. I think there's a transformation in our healthcare system, although it is slow, and I know some areas are very depleted still. But the people that I'm talking to on a regular basis, the professionals, they want to
Yeah,
be transformed as well. They want to hear what their patients are saying, and because the demand, I think the demand is going up. The patients themselves are saying, "Hey, listen, stop. You're not hearing what I'm
yeah.
saying, and I want you to be able to, I want to be able to work with you, but if you can't hear me, then, I'm going to go somewhere else." So I think the demand is changing, which is really, really important as well.
And that's where it has to come from the consumer themselves. And remember,
Mm,
when I talk about doctors and nurses, I'm one of them, and I'm one of the people who didn't
mm,
hear for a long, long time. I was
oh,
lucky
yeah.
enough when I was a very young woman to work in when I was 21 actually, to work in an
Wow.
isolated part of Australia with the Aboriginal Indigenous people of Australia.
Right.
And when I said to one of my nurses, why did you take her home, an old woman who was dying? And they said to me, you
Right.
wouldn't listen to her.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was a transformational moment for me as a health professional to go, wow,
Hmm.
we're not just doing what the system wants for people. So I agree. The public is much more educated generally, generalizing, and
Hmm.
they need to make the change. They need to demand it for us. But I'm here to sit beside my colleagues and say,
Mm,
let's not be scared to change. Let's do this. Let's just
yeah.
jump on board and follow our hearts a little bit. And whilst I'm an academic and evidence-based practice is really important in my life, equally is my trust and my gut with my feelings and thoughts, and to
Mm,
find that balance of how we work together with that.
yeah, absolutely. I loved your energy. I'm gonna poke at you a little bit, Denise, if you
Please
don't
do.
mind. I'm going to get a little personal because I get asked this quite a bit. I've got quite a lot of energy. I'm often very upbeat, and it sounds like you are too. Like you've got a lot of enthusiasm, upbeat energy, in all of this area. But it can't all be. It's not always like, where do you get that energy from? I guess I want to know. And it can't always be this way. You must have had your own struggles as well in order to get to this point, or you travel the journey of your life. So what has transformed you to keep going and have this type of enthusiasm and energy in your personal life in order to, to support others on their journeys as well?
Well, I think number one, I was born with this energy, and it's mammoth and it's endless. Physically, not so much these days, but my
Right,
brain doesn't stop. Therefore, I am running about 7 projects around the world, as well as multiple
right.
in Australia. So I have a capacity that's ridiculous. There is no doubt that a pivotal point was my mother dying. I was
Right.
8. Nobody told me she was sick, even though she'd had
Wow.
leukemia.
Hmm.
I went into what I thought was see her in hospital, but it was my goodbye, and I didn't know that, and she died the next day. I thought she died because I was naughty, because she was crying when I was there. And nobody stood beside me. Not one person stood beside me in any way. My father was broken and he couldn't do it. He did it to the best of his ability. My brother was broken. So I couldn't believe that there wasn't anybody, like that. No nurse put her arm around my shoulder and held a space for me or helped me understand, or nobody ever spoke to me about it. I didn't go to the funeral. The photos were burnt. So death for me became really profound. Um, and I don't believe I'm on some sort of mission in life. I believe I already had the capacity to hold space for people, to be able to be with
Mhm,
people in
mhm,
silence. So
mhm.
that's the amazing thing. I'm so full on and energetically speak at 1,000 miles an hour and there, but I'm very good at shutting down too and just being present.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think from that pivotal time of emptiness and loneliness, I stepped up, I became the mother, and was very broken when I look back for many years, but didn't acknowledge it because you're just getting on with life. Found
Sure.
my grandmother dead in the bath, so death was really comfortable with for around me in the end. It became, and
Yeah.
when I went nursing, I seemed to be always the person somebody'd come and grab and say, "Come and do this body with me," or "Come and sit with this person they're about to die." It just
Mhm,
empathetically seemed to be able to step into that space
mhm.
without big challenge. So when I started working with mummies and babies, instantly when there was a baby being still going to be stillborn, so I've been working as a birth doula for about 28 years.
Right.
I would put my hand up and say, "I'll come and birth with you." Or I've never been fearful when a baby's died at birth. It just felt like
Right.
a normal transition.
Mhm.
And sitting around that birth time when I saw so many babies, I've been lucky enough to be on earth for a long time to watch babies not being resuscitated at birth to babies
Mhm.
being overly resuscitated at birth. And my
Right.
dream became that every woman should be allowed to sit there and say, "Don't touch my baby," or "Please
Mhm.
resuscitate my baby."
Mhm.
And it
That's
became kind
amazing.
of a passion of, when does medicine go too far? When do we need to
Right.
stop? When do we
Mhm.
need to really acknowledge the rights of people and get out of our own fear? So I am upbeat 99.9, as most people will tell you. I'm really good at shutting down. I'm really good at setting boundaries for myself, and I'll just suddenly stop everything and go and become a picture framer for 2 years or 6 months.
Right.
Um, there are times when I absolutely, right at this minute, for example, I'm setting up a structure around me where people can take some responsibility because I know I need to go and be with my man for a month and have not because I'm on call 24/7, whether I'm in
Mhm.
Cambodia, working in
Right.
the village, wherever I am, I'm literally on call for birth and death 24 hours a day because there's no doctors
Right.
in Cambodia where I work.
Okay.
So
So,
I think, I don't know, 99% of my life is amazing. I live with intention. I set the
perfect.
intention and I live it, but I do take that time out. Nature is a really big part of my life.
Mhm. I love that. I mean, it's definitely very contagious, and I think that maybe that's why, you've landed in this work, that some people would shy away from, and again,
Yeah.
such an important area. So we'll just what we're going to do is we're going to bottle that, put it in a bottle, and I think we could sell it on. There's no doubt we can sell the Denise Love bottle of potion to everybody. It would be fantastic. So thank you for that. I wanted to jump into this conversation that we're going to be talking about here, our Gold Perinatal Conference, caring for a family when a baby dies. Tell me a little bit about, yeah, again, I know, I understand, like you really have it seems like a gift in this area and a love and a passion. But now you're taking it to a new level because you're passing it along, I mean, to others by sharing and teaching of what you're doing. So what's really important when you think about sharing a presentation like this in terms of passing along to your students, so to speak? What do you want them to get out of this, Denise?
I really want them to feel supported more than anything. I've
Mm,
been that medical professional standing there thinking, what on earth do I do or say now? And
right.
I guess what I want to say to them is, you are enough. I want
Right.
them to say, trust your instincts and be with that rather than running away. And, just know that I hope when you're in a difficult situation with a mother or a grieving family that I'm sitting on your shoulder and you're going, you're enough. Just stand there and stay present and look deeply in their eyes
Mm.
and just give them the message that you care. There's nothing else you can do rather than turn around and walk away and think, holy goodness, what do I do now?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, just a wise, slightly wise, I'm allowed to say, as an older woman who's
Hmm.
learned from every client I've been with, every patient, every baby that's died,
Hmm.
every sadness that I've experienced. I feel like a little part of me dies with them, and I
Hmm.
honor that by meaning that unless I can walk that path of feeling that pain, I can't possibly know how to respond to the next woman or the next partner of that woman or the next family. That's so, yeah, I just want you all to feel incredibly supported
Oh.
and that being afraid or not knowing what to say is okay, but be
Mhm.
present.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to hear, of course, the full presentation. And inside scoop to everybody, I'm going to hear it before you. So I'm probably going to be posting on social media little snippets of what I've been learning, just little teasers, because I really do want people to be able to have the opportunity to come and listen to you as well. So thank you so much, Denise. Just for sitting down with me here today and being part of our Gold family here at Gold Learning, and of course, Gold Perinatal Conference coming up really soon here. It's been great having you.
Delighted.
Yeah, so a couple of last little things just to wrap up with you folks listening. And don't forget, really easy, goldperinatal.com. Most of you know how to find us online, but I just want to be sure that you go there. You can register for the conference today. Free keynote, of course, opening keynote and closing keynote, always free and open access, which is just a brilliant way, to get just a little bit of a taste of what's happening here. And then register for the conference, the full conference as well. And of course, this great add-on package that Denise Love is going to be part of as well. So once again, thank you to Denise for being with us here today. And of course, to all of you listening in once again, lovely having you back here. You can leave us feedback as well, of course, down below. And we'll look forward to sharing some more things with you in the near future. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye for now.